Elias Varon had survived collapsing hulls, malfunctioning gravity wells, and one unfortunate encounter with a sentient cleaning drone that tried to adopt him. But nothing in his training prepared him for stepping onto the balcony of the Lumerian star Citadel and seeing her. The first breath he took on Aelith Prime felt too sharp, like the air was filtered through cold starlight instead of oxygen. Towers of translucent silver curved across the sky, humming with an ancient energy that felt almost conscious. Lumerians built their cities like symphonies. Every structure resonated with soft harmonics. Every walkway hummed faintly as if trying to welcome him. He wished it wouldn't. Elias adjusted the collar of his dark blue diplomatic uniform, silently begging the universe to let him get through his assignment without humiliation, emotional collapse, or spontaneous interdimensional detours. So far, the universe had rarely listened. "Ambassador Varon," the escorting attendant said, her voice lilting like distant chimes, "her radiance will receive you shortly. Please remain calm." First-time visitors sometimes experience mild sensory flooding, auditory illusions, or unexpected emotional elevation. "Emotional elevation," Elias repeated. "That sounds concerning. It is usually harmless and temporary, unless you make direct eye contact for too long." Direct eye contact with who? But he didn't need the answer, because she entered. The great doors behind the dais dissolved into cascading light, revealing the tall, slender figure of Queen Saelith, the last sovereign of the Lumerian Continuum. Her long silver hair floated as if underwater, infused with the faintest bioluminescent glow. Her skin held its own starlit warmth, and her long, elegant ears twitched slightly as though tuning to every vibration in the room. She wasn't walking. She was moving the way light would move if it learned grace. And then her eyes, radiant, layered amethyst, fell on him. Elias forgot how breathing worked. He bowed too quickly, too sharply, nearly losing his balance. Smooth Varon, very diplomatic. Excellent start to representing the entire human species. "Ambassador," she said, and the word settled into his bones like warm resonance. "You have come far." Yes. I mean, technically the jump drive did most of the work." The expression that flickered across her face wasn't quite confusion, more like fascination, or the diplomatic equivalent of interesting. Her ears lifted slightly, a gesture he couldn't decode but instinctively knew was important. "You speak plainly," she said. "Unfortunately," Elias answered before thinking, "my mouth sometimes bypasses my brain." A soft, melodic sound escaped her, laughter, he realized. Actual laughter from an alien queen whose people hadn't seen joy openly expressed in generations. The Lumerians were famous for emotional restraint, their rulers especially. He had just made one laugh. "Great, galactic incident speedrun." "Your honesty is refreshing," she said, stepping closer. The air around her shimmered with faint luminescence brushing across Elias' senses like warm static. "I expected fear. Most outsiders fear what they do not understand." "I'm terrified," Elias confessed. "Successfully hiding it is the real diplomatic skill." Her eyes softened, not with pity but with something else, curiosity, recognition even. Then the room changed. A soft pulse emanated from the walls as if the Citadel itself inhaled. Elias blinked. The air warmed. A harmonic whisper threaded around them, and Queen Saelith froze, her pupils widened. Her luminous markings brightened, her ears angled sharply toward him with a sudden electric focus. "That is impossible," she whispered. "What is?" "The Citadel reacted to your presence." "Is that bad?" "The Citadel only responds when—" She stopped, her expression flickering with something like disbelief and apprehension intertwined. "When it detects resonance, a bond, a compatibility signature." Elias blinked. "Bond? What bond? I didn't sign anything. Did I breathe wrong? Am I allergic to the architecture?" But she wasn't listening to his rambling. She stepped closer, too close. The air vibrated. A faint, shimmering filament of light curled between them for the briefest second, visible only from the corner of his eye. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "This should not be possible with a human." "I get that a lot." She didn't laugh this time. Her expression was serious now, deeply, unsettlingly so, a kind of awe mixed with dread. "Ambassador Varon," she said softly, "the Citadel believes we are compatible." "That sounds culturally significant." "It is." Her eyes met his again, longer this time. Too long, the air pulsed, the light shifted. And for half a second, Elias swore he heard her heartbeat echo inside his own chest. Saelith inhaled sharply. "We must break eye contact, now." He did immediately, possibly too fast. She stepped back, recovering a regal composure that felt thinner now, as if something beneath it had cracked. "This meeting is concluded," she said, but her voice wasn't steady. "For your safety and mine." Elias swallowed. "Did I do something wrong?" "No, a pause, that is the problem." Guards moved in with silent precision, escorting him out, while Saelith remained still, her gaze lowered, her hands trembling just faintly. He had no idea what had... Elias barely remembered leaving the throne hall. One moment he was staring at an alien queen who looked like she'd just witnessed a cosmic anomaly wearing a human suit, and the next he was being guided through crystalline corridors by silent, glowing attendants. He kept replaying the moment in his head, the pulse of the Citadel, the filament of light, her eyes shocked, almost afraid. My safety and hers. What safety? From what? From him. He didn't like the idea of being a threat to anyone, let alone a woman whose presence made the universe feel organized, even beautiful. When the doors of his temporary quarters closed behind him, Elias exhaled for the first time in what felt like an hour. The room brightened in response to his heartbeat. Apparently, Lumerian architecture was dangerously empathetic. "Please tell me you're not alive," Elias muttered to the wall. The wall pulsed gently. "Fantastic, emotional wallpaper." He rubbed his face, pacing. He needed to focus. He needed clarity. The lights flickered. A chime resonated, and a projection formed in front of him, Commander Rin Saros, the Lumerian High Guard officer assigned as his liaison. Tall, sharp lines, brilliant gold irises, long ears angled in permanent judgment. "Ambassador Varon," Rin said, in a tone that suggested Elias had personally offended the gravitational constants. "Her Radiance has requested you remain confined to your quarters until further notice." "Confined," Elias repeated. "Am I imprisoned?" "It is protective isolation." "That sounds like prison with extra steps." Rin's ears twitched. The Citadel registered a resonance event. Such events require evaluation by the Council of Harmonics. "I don't know what that means." "It means," Rin said, leaning closer so Elias could see the faint microfractures of light on his skin, "that, for reasons no one understands, the Citadel recognized you as compatible." There was that word again. "I'm starting to feel like I should apologize." "You should not," Rin said curtly, "until we determine whether you are aware of what you triggered." "I triggered something by looking at her." Rin's jaw tightened. His expression was composed, but Elias detected an undercurrent, a tension he didn't yet understand. "Lumerian resonance is not romantic in nature," the commander said. "I didn't say it was. It is infinitely more serious." "Well, that's not terrifying at all." Rin exhaled sharply through his nose. "Humans." Elias lifted both hands in surrender. "Look, I'm not trying to get involved in whatever harmonic destiny ritual you have here. I came to deliver Earth's treaty proposal, not vibrate cosmically with your queen." Rin stiffened. "Do not phrase it like that again." "Understood." The projection shimmered, adjusting. Rin's tone softened slightly, very slightly. "For now, remain here. Guards will be posted outside. I will summon you when the council decides how to proceed." "Right, because the architecture thinks we'd make a cute couple." "Ambassador." "Sorry, stress humor." Rin disappeared, leaving Elias alone with his racing thoughts and aggressively luminescent furniture. He sank onto the edge of the bed, burying his face in his hands. What is happening? But the universe didn't offer answers. The universe sent her. The door dissolved into liquid light, and Queen Saelith stepped inside his quarters without escorts, attendants, or ceremony. Elias shot to his feet so fast he tripped over the corner of the bed. "You're your radiance. I thought I was on lockdown." "You are," she said softly. Her voice was different, not regal, not formal. There was a tremor in it. She moved closer with hesitant steps, as though approaching a creature with unknown instincts. Her long ears tilted toward him, registering every shift in his breathing. "I needed to see you myself." Elias swallowed. "Am I in danger?" "That depends," she said, "on what you feel." He blinked. "What I feel." She stopped an arm's length away, hands clasped together as if trying to contain something. Her eyes searched his face, not as a ruler examining a diplomat, but as a woman trying desperately to decode the impossible. "When you looked at me," she said, "the Citadel responded. Architecture does not react to mere curiosity or admiration. It responds only to genuine harmonic resonance." "In human terms," Elias said, "what does that mean?" Her throat moved as she swallowed. "It means connection, rare, matched, instinctive." His heart thudded. But I didn't do anything, he whispered. That is what terrifies me. The air pulsed again, light shifting around them like a held breath. Saelith continued, voice barely audible. The Citadel hasn't reacted to anyone in centuries, not since before my lineage nearly died out. Resonance is something we no longer expect to see in our lifetime. Elias felt the weight of it now, the enormity behind her expression earlier. And you think this is caused by what? Some kind of accident? A chemical reaction? Something deeper? She reached out, fingers trembling just slightly before she pulled them back. Our people evolved to sense harmonic compatibility, emotional, intellectual, and energetic. It is biological and metaphysical. It is nearly extinct. Elias exhaled shakily. And you think I triggered it? The Citadel thinks so. Do you? Saelith looked away, an expression he'd never imagined a queen would allow herself to show. I cannot sense my own resonance, she said quietly. Not without risk. What risk? Her eyes lifted to his again. And this time he understood. She was afraid of the answer, afraid it might be real, afraid it might not. I came here, she said, to ask you something only you can answer. Elias swallowed. Ask me. When you saw me, she whispered. What did you feel? The room became silent, completely impossibly silent. Elias' heart pounded, his throat tightened. His thoughts struggled to find the safest possible response. Honesty or survival, he chose honesty. I felt, he exhaled, helpless. Overwhelmed, like I was looking at someone I wasn't prepared for. Someone I shouldn't be allowed to stand next to. Her breath hitched, he continued. Not because you're a queen, but because something inside me reacted before I could understand it. He didn't realize he'd stepped closer until he felt her warmth. Saelith blinked slowly, as if absorbing the resonance of his words through her skin. The council will not like this, she whispered. The Citadel's harmonics throbbed like a living heartbeat, low, resonant, urgent. Elias felt the vibration under his feet before he understood what it meant. Saelith stiffened. They're coming. Who? The council. Her voice was tight, controlled, but Elias sensed the strain beneath it. They must not find me here with you. Why not? We're just talking. Lumerians do not just talk in private chambers, she whispered sharply. Privacy implies intention. Intention implies resonance, they will assume. The wall behind them rippled with light, a warning that someone was approaching. Saelith inhaled sharply. I must leave. She moved toward the dissolving door, but halted halfway, turning back to him with a sudden, uncharacteristic hesitation. Elias, whatever happens, do not let them decide your truth for you. My truth? You know what you felt in the hall. Her voice softened, so did I. Then she vanished in a cascade of starlit light, just as the doors reformed into solid crystal. A moment later, they parted again, this time not for her. 3 Lumerians entered, their robes shimmering with shifting kaleidoscopic patterns. Their long ears were angled sharply, a sign of authority or displeasure. Elias wasn't sure which was worse. The central figure stepped forward. His eyes were nearly white, luminescent, and unnervingly calm. I am High Counselor Meravas, he said. You will answer our questions. Elias straightened. I'll try. You will do more than try. Meravas studied him with a clinical intensity. The Citadel detected harmonic resonance between you and her radiance. We're not even the same species. Resonance does not care for species, another counselor cut in, which is precisely the problem. Meravas approached, hands clasped behind his back. Tell us exactly what you felt when you looked at her. Elias hesitated. He could lie, say he felt nothing unusual, say it was nerves, say it was architecture-induced vertigo. But Saelith's last words echoed in his mind. Do not let them decide your truth for you. He swallowed. I felt connection, a pull, something instinctive. The room brightened slightly, a Lumerian tell for emotional reaction. Meravas's expression remained neutral, but the slight stiffening of his ears betrayed a shift. Humans are impulsive creatures. Your emotions are volatile, your instincts primitive. Harmonic resonance is a Lumerian adaptation refined over millennia. Humans do not possess it. Maybe we do, Elias said quietly, just differently. The counselor nearest him moved with sudden aggression, ears snapping back, eyes flaring with inner light. You presume equivalence, that human instincts match the continuum's sacred bond. I'm not presuming anything, Elias replied. I'm telling you what I felt. Meravas raised a hand, calming the flare of hostility. His voice lowered. You do not understand the consequences. Resonance is destiny binding. It joins lives. It grants shared authority over harmonics. He stopped abruptly, because the Citadel pulsed again. A bright, spiraling filament of light rose from the floor around Elias, an unmistakable harmonic ripple. The counselors stared in disbelief. "It is responding to him again," one whispered. "That is impossible," said another. But the light only intensified, curling around Elias like a gentle, exploratory presence. Maravas took a slow step back. His composure cracked. "This should not be occurring without her radiance present," he breathed. "Resonance requires two. There cannot be a singular harmonic reaction." But there was. The light swirled higher, brushing Elias' skin with a faint warmth, almost like a hand pressed to his chest. His heartbeat synced with the pulse, his senses heightening. He wasn't imagining it. He knew it now. Whatever this was, it involved him just as much as her. Maravas stared at him a long, trembling moment. "This is unprecedented." His voice was suddenly brittle. "You must be transported to the harmonic chamber for containment and analysis." Elias stiffened. "Containment. It is necessary." His gaze hardened. "For your safety and for hers." The counselors gestured. Guards entered, silent, shimmering figures with armor etched in luminescent lines. Elias' instincts flared, fight, flee something. But there was nowhere to run in a palace made of light. The guards moved toward him. And then the room fractured. The Citadel's lights dimmed. A sharp, discordant crack rang through the air. The counselors froze, every ear snapping to attention. "What now?" Maravas murmured. The wall dissolved, violently this time, not like Saelith's graceful exit. This was abrupt, panicked. Commander Rin Saras strode in. His expression, usually composed to the point of hostility, was taut with alarm. "High Counselors," he said sharply, "you must evacuate." Maravas's eyes narrowed. "Explain." "There has been an intrusion." Rin looked at Elias, something tight and reluctant in his gaze. "A hostile entity breached the outer harmonic shield. Not technological, not physical." Maravas paled. "A void shifter." "I fear so." Elias' stomach dropped. "What is a void shifter?" Rin answered without looking at him. "A predator, a creature that feeds on harmonic resonance." Silence as the implications sank in. Maravas's gaze snapped to Elias, then hardened into something darker. "The breach happened mere moments after the resonance event," the counselor said. "Coincidence seems unlikely." The moment Elias stepped into the corridor behind Rin, the Citadel felt different. The walls dimmed, the harmonic pathways flickered, and the air held a low, trembling resonance he could feel through his ribs. "Stay close," Rin said without looking back. His movements were sharp, controlled, but Elias sensed the undercurrent of urgency beneath them. "What exactly are we running from?" Elias asked, dodging a crystalline conduit that pulsed violently overhead. "A void shifter," Rin repeated. "A parasitic entity drawn to harmonic signatures. It senses resonance like blood in the water." "That's not comforting." "It is not meant to be." They rounded a corner, ascending a spiral walkway composed of floating light panels that rearranged themselves with each step. The Citadel was trying to help, guiding them upward, inward, toward the most secure chambers. Which told Elias one chilling thing: the danger was real, close, hunting. "Rin," Elias said, breath unsteady, "why does the Queen want to see me right now? Shouldn't she be, I don't know, protected?" Rin slowed just enough to glance back at him, and there was something in his expression Elias had not expected: respect and worry. "For reasons I do not fully understand, you are important to her." Elias blinked. "Important how?" "That," Rin said tightly, "is what I intend to find out." They reached an archway of living crystal that recognized Rin's presence and dissolved. Inside was a vaulted chamber of silver and white, its walls humming with soft harmonic waves. It felt safer, and at the same time overwhelmingly intimate. Queen Saelith stood at the center. She wasn't wearing ceremonial robes now, but a fitted luminescent weave that moved like liquid starlight. Her long hair floated, illuminated from within, and her ears angled sharply toward Elias the moment he entered, as though her senses were tuned only to him. "Elias," she said. His name and her voice pulled something deep within him taut. "Your Lady Saelith," he corrected quickly, her earlier request echoing in his mind. She exhaled, barely perceptible but real. Rin stepped forward, bowing his head slightly. "Your Radiance," the counselors attempted to detain him. "They insist his presence is connected to the breach." Saelith's expression tightened. "Their fear blinds them. But their suspicion is irrelevant," she said, turning her gaze back to Elias. "He is safer with me." Rin swallowed whatever argument he had and stepped back, jaw tight. Elias felt suddenly aware of the silence between him and Saelith, a silence dense with everything unspoken since the resonance first sparked. She approached slowly, each step deliberate. "Are you unharmed?" "I'm confused," Elias admitted, "and maybe a little terrified." Her lips softened. "So am I." That startled him more than the void shifter. "I didn't think Lumerians." "We do feel fear," she said quietly. "We simply do not show it easily, but this situation is unprecedented." She stopped just in front of him, close enough that the air between them seemed charged. "The Citadel reacts to our proximity. Rin says the void shifter hunts resonance. The counselors think I triggered something impossible." He ran a hand through his hair, struggling. "Saelith, what does this all mean?" She hesitated, an uncharacteristic uncertainty flickering across her features. "Come," she said. She held out her hand. Elias stared at it, delicate, luminescent, trembling only slightly. His instinct screamed caution. His heartbeat screamed otherwise. He took her hand. Light burst around them, soft, warm, not blinding but overwhelming in its gentleness. The Citadel hummed in recognition. The floor beneath them warmed. The harmonic frequency pulsed in perfect sync with their joined hands. Saelith inhaled sharply. "I feared this," she whispered. "What is it?" She didn't release him. If anything, she held tighter. "Elias, this confirms the resonance. Our energies align. The Citadel recognizes it. The harmonic field acknowledges it. And the void shifter." A tremor cut her off. The chamber lights flickered violently. The air temperature dropped. A low, guttural sound reverberated through the walls, like a vibration trying to mimic breath. Rin spun toward the entrance, weapon drawn. "It is here." The chamber dimmed again, and something moved at the threshold. A distortion, a writhing pocket of dark fractal geometry that bent light around itself. A presence not entirely physical, not entirely real. Saelith stepped in front of Elias, pulling him behind her with surprising strength. "Do not come closer," she warned the void creature, her voice firm, resonant. "You will not feed here." The void shifter twisted, as though tasting the energy in the room. And then it lunged. Rin's weapon fired, but the beam passed through the creature's warped form uselessly. The entity shrieked in layered frequencies, shaking the chamber. Saelith's grip tightened around Elias' hand. "Elias," she whispered urgently, "listen to me." He swallowed. "I'm listening. Our resonance, if we focus it, we can repel it." "I don't know how to do that." "You do," she said, eyes blazing with luminous fire. "You felt it in the throne hall in your quarters just now." She lifted his hand to her chest, pressed it against the glowing pattern over her heart. "Feel what I feel," she said. "Let the resonance rise." "I, Saelith, I don't." Her other hand cupped the side of his face, forcing his eyes to hers. "Elias." Her voice lowered to something both intimate and commanding. "Trust me." His breath shook. His heartbeat thundered, and then he felt it, the pull, the warmth, the unmistakable synchrony that had terrified him in the hall. He let it rise. Saelith gasped, eyes widening, markings flaring bright. The void shifter recoiled. The resonance surged between them, two heartbeats synchronizing, two energies aligning, the Citadel's harmonic architecture amplifying the connection. Rin shielded his eyes as the brightness grew. The void shifter screeched. And then the combined resonance exploded outward in a shockwave of luminescent force. When the light faded, the void creature was gone, dissolved into a shivering cloud of fractal dust. Silence fell over the chamber. The counselors' arrival shattered the fragile stillness of the chamber. Their robes spilled in waves of luminous color, their elongated ears angled in sharp disapproval. Their eyes, usually serene, now burned with shock, alarm, and something far darker. High Counselor Maravas stepped forward, voice echoing through the chamber like a blade drawn across crystal. "Your radiance," he said. "Explain yourself." Saelith did not flinch. She simply shifted her stance, subtly, protectively, so her shoulder remained angled between Elias and the approaching authorities. "There is nothing to explain," she said calmly. The resonance was mutual. A ripple of outrage passed through the counselors. Mutual, one hissed, with a human. A species barely out of its atmospheric cradle. A species whose emotional volatility makes them incompatible with harmonic. "Enough." Saelith didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. The Citadel itself reacted, its walls brightening in soft alignment with her tone. Rin stepped closer to Elias, subtly positioning himself as a secondary barrier. Elias realized with a strange warmth that the commander was no longer treating him as a threat. but as someone the Queen valued. Maravaz's eyes narrowed. "Your radiance, this is dangerous." "For whom?" Saelith asked, a calm question. "Deadly in its precision." "For you," Maravaz answered. "For our people, for the Continuum." Saelith's gaze hardened. "The Continuum has survived far more than resonance." "This is not resonance," the counselor snapped. "This is destabilization. And you know it." He turned to Elias now, expression coldly analytical. "Human," he said, "you do not understand what you have entangled yourself in. Harmonic resonance is binding. It is not temporary. It is not casual. It dictates future roles, responsibilities, alliances. It alters destiny." "I didn't ask for any of this," Elias said quietly. "But you responded," Maravaz replied. "You allowed the resonance to form. You accepted it." "I reacted in self-defense," Elias shot back. "A void shifter tried to kill us both. And in doing so," Maravaz said sharply, "you strengthened the bond." Silence fell heavy, unyielding. Elias felt the truth of it deep in his chest, the faint echo of Saelith's harmonic pulse brushing against his own heartbeat. It wasn't gone, it wasn't fading, it was awake and alive. Maravaz turned to the other counselors. "We must act. Now, before the bond solidifies." Saelith's posture changed, subtle, but Elias felt the shift instantly, like a veil lifting, like a warning. "What are you suggesting?" she asked. "A disruption," Maravaz said. "A severance of the harmonic pathway, before it becomes irreversible." Rin stiffened. "You would risk harming her radiance." Maravaz's jaw clenched. "If she continues, she risks harming herself." Saelith's eyes narrowed into crystalline slits. "You will not touch him." The counselors recoiled, not in fear but in disbelief. "Your radiance. You presume authority over my resonance," she said, voice steady but pulsing with undertones the Citadel recognized immediately. The walls brightened, resonating with her rising energy. "Over my choice." "Choice?" Maravaz echoed bitterly. "Do you truly believe this is choice? Or is it the desperate imprinting of a dying lineage sensing the first compatible harmonic in generations?" Elias felt Saelith flinch, not physically but emotionally, the words striking some deep, hidden wound. Maravaz pressed on. "The Continuum's bloodline thins. Resonance has not occurred in centuries, and now, suddenly, a human appears. Convenient, suspicious, impossible." Elias stepped forward before he could think. "Stop talking about her like she's a malfunctioning starship," he said. His voice was steady, though his heart thudded painfully hard. "What she feels is real. And what I felt was real. That wasn't manipulation or desperation, it was." He struggled for the right word. He landed on the only one that mattered: connection. Saelith stared at him, eyes glowing, breath catching. The warmth of her resonance brushed his senses again, soft and involuntary. The counselors felt it too. One recoiled. "The bond strengthens as they speak." "Contain him." Another barked. Guards surged forward, but the Citadel reacted first. A luminescent barrier snapped up around Saelith and Elias, shimmering, protective, unmistakably intentional. Maravaz froze. Fear finally showed in the tightening of his jaw. The Citadel chose to shield them. Rin's voice was barely a whisper. "It recognizes them as one harmonic unit." The counselors looked horrified. "This cannot be allowed. It is destabilizing the architecture. It will rewrite the protocols. It will redefine the Queen's future." Maravaz stepped forward, voice dark and final. "Your radiance, for the safety of the Continuum, the human must be removed." The chamber temperature dropped, the air pulsed. Elias felt Saelith's hand find his tight, instinctive, protective. Her voice was quiet and terrifying. "If you attempt to separate us," she said, "the harm will not be his." Maravaz's eyes widened. "You would defy the council." "For him." Her voice softened. "For us." Elias' breath caught. Her fingers trembled in his. Maravaz exhaled sharply. "Then we are at an impasse. Until this anomaly is resolved, we will not recognize the resonance. We will not allow its completion. And we will not stand aside while you risk your lineage and our stability." He turned to the guards. "Prepare the harmonic suppression chamber." Elias tensed. "And what is that?" "Isolation," Maravaz said, "until you and the Queen forget this madness." Rin's voice was sharp. "You cannot imprison her." The chamber cracked with tension, every harmonic surface trembling as if trying to contain too many futures at once. Guards hesitated. Counselors braced themselves. Rin positioned himself between Elias and the nearest threat. "And Saelith." Saelith glowed, not softly, not subtly, but with a radiance Elias had only seen in the Citadel's oldest murals. depicting rulers who commanded resonance like living stars. "Stand down," Marevas warned, voice tight. "Your radiance, if you unleash your full harmonic field, it will destabilize the architecture," another counselor finished breathlessly. Saelith's hand tightened around Elia's S. "Then the architecture will adapt." Her voice was calm, resolute, and the citadel itself leaned into her will. The walls brightened, the floor warmed. A low harmonic hum enveloped the chamber like a living exhale. Elias felt her pulse sinking with his, strong, guiding, certain. "Saelith," he whispered, "what are you doing?" "What I should have done the moment I saw you," she murmured, choosing. The harmonic resonance surged. Marevas stepped forward, desperation cracking his perfect composure. "Your radiance, if you complete this bond. It will rewrite your future. It will bind the continuum to a human. It will destabilize the royal lineage." "It will." Saelith turned to face them fully. "It will heal what has been broken." The counselors fell silent. Elias stared at her, breath shallow. "Heal." Saelith looked at him, really looked, her violet eyes soft as the citadel dimmed around them, listening. "My lineage has faded," she said quietly. "Resonance has not awakened for generations. Our future dims a little more each century." She lifted their joined hands. "And then you arrived." Marevas stepped back, shaking his head. "No. You cannot believe a human, primitive, chaotic, could hold such compatibility." Elias opened his mouth to retort, but Saelith spoke first. "He does," she said simply, "and he has done what none of you ever could." The room trembled as her power rose. She looked at Elias again, warmth enveloping every syllable. "He saw me not as a queen, but as a person." The words hit Elias with the force of gravity returning after weightlessness. A soft harmonic glow wrapped around their joined hands. A gentle tether of light unmistakably alive. Marevas panicked. "Guards, sever them now." The guards stepped forward, and the citadel intervened. Light erupted from the floor, forming a shimmering barrier dome around Elias and Saelith. The guards staggered back, some shielding their eyes. Marevas stared in disbelief. "The citadel accepts the bond." Rin exhaled, all breaking through his stern expression. "It recognizes them." Saelith turned to Elias, every trace of fear gone, only certainty remained. "This will change everything," she whispered. "Your life, mine, our worlds, are you certain?" Elias swallowed, heart pounding, not with fear but with something startlingly clear. "Yes." He didn't hesitate, he didn't look away, he didn't withdraw his hand. Because the moment he stepped onto Aelith Prime, the moment he met her gaze, the moment the citadel pulsed, he'd known something inside him had shifted. And now, standing inches from her, the chamber humming in alignment with their breath, he understood. It wasn't destiny choosing him. It was him choosing her. Saelith lifted her free hand and pressed it gently over his heart. Then let the resonance complete. Light climbed up their arms like threads of starlit silk. Elias felt warmth unfurl in his chest, deep, ancient, instinctive. Saelith gasped softly, her markings igniting in brilliant amethyst. Two pulses synchronized, one heartbeat, then another, then a third. A harmonic signature locking into place. The chamber exploded in radiant silence. When it cleared, the citadel hummed with new stability, a new frequency, a new bond. Saelith swayed, breath trembling. Elias caught her gently. Marevas stared, speechless. The counselors froze, unable to deny what the citadel itself now declared. Rin bowed his head in solemn acknowledgement. "It is done," he said. "The queen has chosen." Saelith looked up at Elias, cheeks glowing with warm bioluminescence. Her voice was almost a whisper. "Elias, if you stay, your world may not understand. Your people may question. Your future will never be the same." Elias brushed a thumb over her trembling hand. "Neither will yours," he murmured, "but I'm not afraid anymore." Her lips parted, soft, vulnerable, hopeful. "Then may I," she whispered, "may you what?" Elias breathed, "Kiss you in front of the entire council." A startled laugh escaped him. "You can do anything you want." Saelith rose onto her toes, long ears brushing his cheek, and kissed him. Not like a